What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today I wanted to give you guys an updated top busts in my collection, the top 10 to be specific. So I have 31 life-size busts. You know, I have a variation of different styled busts. I'm not going to count those. I'm only counting like a full-scale bust, you know, like the Jason and Freddy and whatnot. Like, I'm not going to count that as a bust, for example, or that little Arnold. But I have 31 busts and multiple more on the way that could definitely probably make my top 10 list for sure. But since I got Loki, Hulk, Jack Sparrow, and so many life-size busts, I feel like I should do an updated one for you guys. So before we get into the top 10, I did want to give some honorable mentions of ones that I do absolutely love, but they just couldn't make it to the list. Alexa, turn on video game statue room lights. There's two busts in particular in this room that I feel get an honorable mention. First is PCS Scorpion. Now, detail-wise, for a polystone bust, this one is absolutely amazing. I think they did an incredible job on the eyes. The skin tone looks really well done. I wish they would have used translucent resin for the skin. I feel like it could have made it a little bit more realistic, but the mask and the whole body and the whole just look of it is just absolutely amazing. In addition, I have such a huge connection to this particular version of Scorpion that I just love it so much. Sub-Zero as well, just such an amazing pair of busts together and definitely deserves an honorable mention. The other one that deserves an honorable mention is my largest bust I own, which is MRC Trunks. Now, DBZ can only get so detailed because it is an anime, but this bust just has such crazy presence, so large. It's my heaviest piece of my whole collection, probably him or Shockwave, probably Shockwave, but this bust is absolutely phenomenal. This and Vegeta, but Trunks is definitely the crowning jewel when it comes to DBZ busts. Because of the arm holding the sword, the sheer size, the dual heads. It truly is a magnificent piece of art. And I'm very blessed and grateful to have the prototype in my collection. So a very, very, awesome piece that deserves an honorable mention. But anime busts can only get so good. Busts are all about getting a very realistic, life-size version of that character you love. So we're going to dive deep and talk about my 10 favorite, best, most detailed, just awesome busts in the collection. So I'm actually going to pause the video right now to really think about this. It's tough because I have so many good ones. But I'm going to write down a list and we're going to get to it. Alrighty, folks. So I've looked at all my different busts and determined the top 10, so we're going to get to it. Number 10 is going to be Queen Studios' Captain Marvel. Now, I knew this bust was going to be great, but it definitely came out better than I expected. It's an absolute just gorgeous bust all around. The design of the base, the flow, the paint app, that metallic red. The light up is incredible, and then the face just so incredibly realistic. That silicone skin just looks phenomenal. The light up looks really well done, and it's a huge bust at like 3 feet tall, so it has great presence, and just overall beautiful looking bust. So I definitely feel like of the polystone busts from Queen so far, this one is my best, even though this has a little bit of silicone face, but I find this one superior than like Black Panther and Iron Spidey. We'll see how Iron Man Battle Damage compares, because he's monstrously huge. No silicone, but he's very big, and looks really good. He arrives actually in the next 2 weeks, but let's see if he can top Captain Marvel, because right now, she's my favorite among these non-silicone ones. But she's a phenomenal bust, truly an amazing piece of art, just so beautiful. So she had to make my list at number 10. Number 9 on my list is going to be Elite Creature Collectibles Lichen life-size bust. I spent many years hunting this down. It did not disappoint. It has a great presence, monstrously huge head that sticks out and just really protrudes and gives it a fierce look. It's made of translucent resin, so it looks really well done with real hair. The teeth look acrylic. I'd say that my only negative would be the eyes. I feel like they should have done glass eyes. Back then they weren't doing glass eyes. But if you compare his eyes to Marcus's, and Marcus has glass eyes, you could definitely see that glass eyes just adds that level of realism that, you know, a simple painted eye just can't achieve. So for me, you know, I'm not going to buy any more busts that are not glass eyes. Glass eyes are an absolute must now for me. Granted, this is the only Lichen. It's still phenomenal and very well done eyes for painted. But this bust is definitely incredible. I love the overall look and design and the hair. Just absolutely outstanding bust. So number 9, ECC Lichen bust. Number 8 is going to be ECC Freddy bust. So this bust has, in my opinion, the best glass eyes I've seen on a bust, because of the way his eyes are like more open and you can really see the little vein work, the green really protrudes. It just, you know, these are custom glass eyes that ECC does. They're not just some random glass eye they buy from a factory and insert. They're specifically made for Freddy Krueger, and they look absolutely amazing. Now, I do have a custom hat, which did improve the overall look of the bust. The previous hat I wasn't as big a fan of. So this custom hat definitely improved the overall look, and I love the look of it with this custom hat. I love the arm, the whole design with the light up inside the base when you turn it on, the movable nameplate. So it's just a phenomenal bust. Great big size, great weathering, and just an incredible bust overall. So freaking cool and sinister. So number 8, Freddy. Number 7, Jason. Now, Jason, when I had my previous masks, I would rate Freddy higher. But since I've upgraded my mask, I now rate him above Freddy. He also has phenomenal looking eyes. Not quite as good as Freddy, but still incredibly well done. I feel like ECC's glass eyes are incredibly well done. And this mask has made this bust truly special. It really just looks so good with this custom mask. And they did translucent resin on this, and it looks really, really good. Like the fingers, the skin texture, that real, this is a real machete, like it's made of metal. Has real hair back here, you know, mixed media, giant like tree trunk base with the logo. It's huge, it's heavy, and it truly just is an amazing bust, and I absolutely love it. Definitely my one of the best translucent resin busts for a human I've seen. So number 7, ECC Jason with the custom Crash Creations mask. Alrighty, then we're gonna get to number 6. And as of right now, number 6 is actually my most recent bust, which is Loki bust. So if any of you saw my video, you will know I had some issues because this was a previously displayed used unit. Apparently it was at trade shows, and it had the helmet on it, left marks on the forehead, so I can't enjoy it to its full extent because of that. I really need to get the helmet is what I need. Because the marks are already there, I need to just get the helmet, so I'm trying to get it from the seller. But this is definitely an absolutely incredible bust. The likeness is spot on. The paint on the skin tone is the best on a human I've seen. I feel like it's the best, you know, one of the best paints for like a pale looking guy. The base is beautiful. The clothing is outstanding. The eyes are incredibly realistic. I feel like if I could get the, well, one, I need to cut the hair and style it completely going back, not to the side like this. Once I cut the hair, style it backwards, and get the helmet, I feel like this could be higher on my list. But as of what I have, what I look in front of me, I place this at number 6, Queen Studios Loki bust. Then we come to number 5, and it's actually my custom Jack Sparrow bust. Now, I wouldn't rate it this high. When I originally got this, I feel like it was lacking certain things, but I feel like because of all the accessories I've added, you know, I actually moved the coin right here like it's part of the base, but adding this, the hat, that, lowering this so it seems longer, I feel like it's improved this overall bust to really give it that Jack Sparrow look. So straight out of the box, I would not rate it number 5. I would definitely probably rate it, you know, maybe behind the ECC stuff. But this does have one of the most realistic looking faces. When I see this, I feel like I'm seeing a real human. Most of Queen's silicone busts, I feel like you can still tell it's a statue. This one looks like a real person. I feel like this is just a slight edge above Queen when it comes to that realism look. So, and then adding all these accessories really improved the overall look, and it's just a phenomenal bust. Super, super detailed. Really good glass eyes. You know, they look incredible. It really is a phenomenal bust, and definitely one of my favorites in the collection. It definitely could be improved, no doubt. Any piece can be improved. But overall, this one is definitely one of my top 5 favorites. So, number 5, Jack Sparrow. Then we come to number 4. Number 4 is actually going to be the Hulk bust. Hulk came out better than I anticipated, surely because of the size. When you sit about 2 feet away and you're looking at like this, it is incredibly impressive. That head, that portrait with the teeth, the glass eyes look really well done. I love the color choice they did for the green and like the red. The angry look in his face, his hair, his eyebrows, the little stubble on his face. It really is one of the most impressive heads because of the sheer size and the detail. It is absolutely outstanding. The base is even better than I thought. When I originally saw the base, I was like, God, that's lame. But the more I look at it, the more I actually do appreciate and like it. I also even added these Ant-Man right there. But this bust truly is impressive. It is one you have to really like sit down and be like 2 feet away to be like, whoa. When you're looking, standing up and standing from a distance, it loses that wow factor. But when I'm sitting in my banana chair, which is usually how I'm looking at my statues, this one truly has such a wow factor. So he gets the number 4 slot as best bust in my collection. Number 3 on my list is going to be Queen Studios Thanos. Now, this one has several things that really just makes it one of the best busts ever. First, the best base. This base is an absolute masterpiece. I absolutely loved what they did with this base. For me, it's the best base on any bust. So that is number 1. Number 2, this armor is freaking amazing. I love the burn, like scratches, the weathering. The helmet is fantastic. The face definitely has like a perfect sculpt. The eyes are good, not great. I feel like they could have been better. I feel like maybe they're lacking a little wetness. And the teeth should have been acrylic, but they chose to do just resin. So I actually used some gloss on mine. My biggest problem with this bust is purely it's too dark a skin tone. And even after doing baby powder, which I don't want to do too often because I feel like it may damage it over time, it still is just too dark in my opinion. I wish it was more of like this color or that color. I like that one the most. That one's a very light purple look. This one's slightly darker, and then that one's the darkest. Now, this Thanos is dependent on specific lighting as well to achieve that look, but for the most part, that is its biggest flaw. Is Queen painted it simply too dark. So if this had a perfect skin tone, this would actually be my favorite bust in my collection. But because of the lack of skin tone color that I truly want to enjoy, this one makes the number 3 slot in my collection. But the base, the body, is probably one of the best out there. No doubt for Marvel. It's definitely my favorite Marvel bust, no doubt. And I don't think it'll ever be topped. It's still one of my absolute favorites. And when I freshly baby powder it and it has that perfect skin tone I'm looking for, it truly becomes just an absolute masterpiece. Still just an absolutely incredible bust. So number 3, Queen Thanos. Alrighty, folks, now we're down to the bottom 2. Now, before we get to those, I did want to mention some busts I feel could make a top 3 slot. And that's going to be Queen Alita and Infinity Studios' Margot Robbie. I feel like those two can definitely make like a top 3 or for sure top 5 of my favorite busts in my collection. Now, Alita is shipping before Margot Robbie. She'll probably be last, but I feel like Margot could potentially take the number 1 slot, depending on how she really turns out. But those two definitely, you know, will make a top like 5 list. And then we got Lurtz and Caesar, which also potentially could make a top 10. So let's get down to the 2 best busts in my collection. And it's in this picture. You make your guesses, folks. So number 2 is going to be Pennywise. Pennywise is a custom bust by Blue Box Hyper. It is silicone, hand-punched hair, glass eyes, acrylic teeth, you name it, it's the highest quality you got. But what makes this bust truly special is just the sculpt is perfect. The detail is perfect. It looks just like him. It looks like him in real life, how Pennywise would look. I feel like Blue Box just absolutely nailed it. The glass eyes are fantastic. The teeth are incredibly well done for acrylic teeth. There's zero sweating. There's no issues at all. The eyes do light up. Although it's kind of a pain in the butt. You have to find exactly where it is. Let me see. Boom. So check it out. Super, super sick looking. Very sinister looking when you see those eyes lit. This is a custom base. I feel like Blue Box definitely should have did some really sick looking Pennywise base, similar to like even ECC's Pennywise base. If it had that base, then this would be so perfect. But my custom base I only paid 140 bucks for, and it does the job, and it does look great. And it matches the ECC 130 incredibly well. So this is definitely one of those busts when people come into my collection, this catches their attention. They're like, holy crap. You know, it truly is a special bust. And limited to 45, this will definitely go down as the Grail of Grails for Pennywise. So that is number 2. Previously, it was number 1 in my collection. It's been downgraded to number 2 because of Queen Studios' Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I definitely like the Terminator movies more than the It movies. Don't get me wrong, It is my favorite horror movies, but, you know, Arnold, Terminator 2 is probably one of the best, if not the best, older, you know, like 90s movies for me. Growing up, it was a perfect action movie. It's what solidified, you know, my love for Arnold, Terminator. Terminator 1 was a good movie, but Terminator 2 was a perfect movie. And Queen Studios nailed it on this bust. So first the base, got that logo, and it definitely is reminiscent of Terminator. It looks fantastic. What I feel makes this bust special though, the battle damage. Seeing this torn away flesh, seeing this, you know, it looks like real metal to me for the endoskeleton. And then that face, all that blood, the skin torn off, and then it does have the light up eye as well. And then the glass eye is fantastic. The hair looks really well done. And the likeness is just spot on, about 98, 99% Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's just about perfect. I mean, when I see it, I definitely immediately recognize, oh, that's Arnold. You know, and anyone that sees it immediately recognizes it. So it just has that perfect likeness. And then the battle damage, the bullet holes, there's just so much into it that truly makes this a Grail of Grails for life-size busts. And for me, my personal favorite life-size